Welcome back to Catholic Bible Channel. Today I have the pleasure of introducing a new Catholic translation of a Bible in English. Well, it's a new translation to me, literally called the NCB, the New Catholic Bible Translation. This is put out by the folks at Catholic Book Publishing. If that name looks familiar, that's because you've probably seen some of their Sunday missals and other things used for Sunday Mass. They produce a lot of books, including the Liturgy of the Hours and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's a pretty familiar name if you're into Catholic books. This is like a fake leather cover, a faux leather, with some hubs there for style, and they do look good. And if you look here, this is why I picked up this Bible. It is a red letter edition. Finding Catholic Bibles that are red letter edition has been a bit of a challenge. I do have the Great Adventure in red letter, and off the top of my head, that's all I could think of that has red letter. Now, this is not my Bible. I bought it as a gift for a relative who's recently rededicated themselves to the church, and they requested specifically a red letter Bible. So that was sort of my starting point. They also asked for a Bible that could be more easily comprehended and read in English. We use the NAB in Sunday Mass, and sometimes the language is a little funny. You try to read the Dewey Rheims, it's really old-fashioned. The RSV works, but still has some pretty tough words sometimes. And this translation is far more accessible. In fact, I think it's great for somebody who's like maybe 15, 16, 17, or if English is not your first language and you want to read the Bible in English, or just have a simpler translation, period, for any reason whatsoever. I think this is a great choice. So let me show you some features of the Bible. The preface tells us that this Bible is what we call formal equivalence. And what that means is they're going for a word for word translation from the Greek and Hebrew texts. I read about the translation, and they also use not just the ancient texts that were used for the Dewey Rheims, but they do consult the Latin texts as well, including the Dead Sea Scrolls and any other new findings. And as far as the text itself, I have found no problems with it or anything that sort of bothers me. I think it's really, really good. Some features of the Bible are pretty cool. First of, each book has its own little introduction, so that's nothing new, and an outline of the book. And there are pretty extensive notes at the bottom, and I'll show you some examples along the way. So there's chapter 1 of the Exodus, and you could see how many notes they're giving you just for a few verses, okay? What I like best about each introduction of the book is they kind of encapsulate what's in the what's in the book in one sentence or phrase. What's Exodus about? Well, you could broadly say it's about God setting his people free. What is Ecclesiastes about? A meditation on the human condition. Oh, Ecclesiastes, this is vanities of vanities, says Kolhith, vanities of vanities, everything is vanity. Yeah, that's a meditation on the human condition. Okay, let's look at some New Testament examples. What's the Gospel of Mark about? Broadly speaking, who is Jesus? Okay, let's go to an epistle. What is the letter to Titus? Lead an upright life. Okay, letter to Philemon. Let the slave become a brother. That's the main topic of the letter. Letter to the Hebrews. Christ, the one true priest. I don't know if I would say he's the one true priest, but he's certainly the one high priest. And you can see here, this is from the previous book, this is from the introduction to the letter to the Hebrews. You could see there's a decent introduction and a whole bunch of notes. Now, I'm not going to go and say this is a study Bible because that's not really what it is, but it is filled with a ton of information. Like I said, this translation is new to me. I've only read about 40 chapters in this Bible, and so far I like what I see. I'm going to pick up a copy of this for myself. They do have a series of maps at the end, but you can see that they're all in black and white. And there's a couple of pictures kind of like this throughout the Bible. And finally, let's get to the red letters. Here's what they look like. Now, the letters of Christ, the words of Christ in red, was the main drawing point to this Bible. You can tell that this Bible doesn't have, you named the GSM paper you want to name, that's good. It doesn't have very thick paper, but there is very little ghosting. I think that paper holds up really well, and I have no problems reading this. It's not a strain on my eyes. The text is bold enough, it's big enough. I don't know the exact size, probably a 10-point font. And the letters of Christ look really, really good. And that was the main drawing point of the Bible. The Bible does have a gilt on the outside, which looks really nice. And I think those faux spine hubs look really nice as well. And overall, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this Bible. So much so that after I give this one away, I'll have to get myself a copy. The introduction page has a nice stylistic paper that is not expensive, and I'm not claiming that it's premium, but it is really good. It's excellent. And so far, this Bible has met all the or checked all the boxes. It's easy to read. It's true to God's sacred word. It has red letters of the words that Jesus spoke, and very easy to kind of walk around and hold. Oh, did I tell you the price? At the time of recording, this Bible is $21 for the entire Bible. For all 73 books with introductions to each one, including all those features, and I did leave out one feature. The New Catholic Bible Translation comes with this feature here, which I like very much. First off, they give you the four Gospels, and then they have the various parables that Jesus tells, so you can see where they overlap. And I find it interesting if you look at the Gospel of John, there are no parables in the Gospel of John. But you can see where Matthew, Mark, and Luke have some of the same stuff, and then Luke kind of goes off on its own there with its list of parables. However, if you go to the next page, that the miracles of Jesus in chronological order, the very first miracle is from John, and it is the wedding feast at Cana, where Jesus makes water into wine. How cool is that? I love this chart. I think every Bible should have a chart like this, and then they separate it into the life of Jesus. But here we have the miracles of Christ in one simple chart. Like I said, this Bible's awesome. And again, for $21, I don't think there's a better value that I have found for Catholic Bibles. If this translation's not for you, you want something a little more challenging, I would recommend the RSV2 CE. But if you're looking for something that's a little more simplified, this is the front runner, in my opinion. This translation, I think, will catch on. And I'm going to promote it to people. When my son is done reading his kid's Bible, this is the first one I'm going to get him, because I think it's a nice bridge between what a kid should have to like teenage years, maybe early college years, and then to well into adulthood. I highly recommend this Bible, and it's a joy to uh, give as a gift to a family member. Please let me know if you're interested in seeing more reviews from this publisher. This has been a great experience, and I hope to come across some more other Bibles in the future. God bless, rejoice that Christ is Lord, and we'll see you in the next one.